Hello guys, so in this video I want to address one question that was asked by one of my friends who was just getting into the software development industry, and the question was very simple. So as he joined a company as an intern, he was given real world project to work on and he never had the experience. So he asked me, bro, I do not have experience. These people do not understand. What should I do? I gave him this answer. I gave him this response based on what I've learned from the development industry, from the software development industry. And number one, I told him that everyone has this imposter syndrome, all right? This feeling of being insufficient, and that it is not abnormal for him to experience that. Even I, every day, even though I've been in the industry for quite a while, but every time I face a new project, you feel somehow that you're not sufficient, all right? That feeling is always there. So that is, to some extent, is not abnormal to experience that imposter syndrome or that feeling of insufficiency, all right? And secondly, I told him that so it depends on how you handle that feelings. And I told him to have the mindset of growing. All right. So if you are always in your comfort zone, if you're not learning new things, if you're not applying new ideas, then you won't grow. If you're just doing the same things over and over, you won't grow. So I told him to take this thing positively and focus his mind, and just have a mindset that is growing and is not, they are not trying to hurt him, all right? So I told him this is a chance for him to grow and learn many things in the industry at a fast rate. I remember when I first joined the industry, the company that I did join, I was very naive, I was very uninformed, and yet I was given some really complex project, all right? And I was even brought to work with a much experienced team. But anyway, I remember the fact that I was able to engage in this complex task, and I'll go Google, I'll check up in the Stack Overflow, I'll read books overnight, I'll just work hard, and with time, I just came to understand that these things, they are not that complex. And anything that you do not understand, just Google or ask, all right? Just Google or ask. And that will lead me to the third point that I told him. I told him that as a developer, I believe one of the crucial skill as a developer and the most important skill as a developer is learning from other people, all right? Learning from experienced developers, all right? Just staying back, sitting back as someone who do not understand, and just don't try to prove that you know much than others. It won't help at the end. It won't be beneficial to you at the end. So, and I see this is the mistake that many developers make out there, is that when you get in the development industry, someone has just learned coding maybe 3 6 months, but the guy has just learned how to install Linux, and now he thinks that he can be able to work several banks, or he can be able to work government facilities. And the guy has become so arrogant that he's not even able to learn from other people. And that is one of the biggest mistake I see many people doing out there. That when they just have some small experience, they want to brag and they want to put themselves above others, which I believe is very detrimental to you and your career. So as a software developer, I told him, if you don't understand something, don't try to prove that you know and yet you don't know. Just pretend, or just acknowledge that you don't know and go and ask someone, especially those people experienced. And that is the easiest way of learning things in the technology world. For me, I can say 70% of the things that I've been taught or that I've learned, extremely good practices when it comes to coding, writing efficient code, very wonderful practices. I learned all this from people, right? And it was because it's just humble, and I'll just sit back and I'll look at the code of this guy and I'll just ask him, your code looks nice. Can you take me through and help me to understand? And he'll take me through. And by the end, you'll find that you've just earned a lot. Just learn to listen more than speaking. I believe that is one of the technique that will help him to get through the industry. All right. And the last thing that I told him is that in this industry, it is much is expected of you than a team. In other words, do not count so much on people to help you develop. Even though people will be helping you learning and adopting new skills, do not count so much to people, or do not just expect that you'll just sit down and after 1 year, 3 years, you are better. No, it calls upon for personal determination, for personal self-discipline. You have to put your head into the mud and learn as much thing as you can. All right. If you've been given something and is hard, and maybe there is no anyone who is around to help you, and in fact it is always good that you first do your own thorough research on the best practices on how to write maybe an app, all these things before you even actually ask someone. All right. So by the time you're asking someone, you already have a good understanding. They're not taking you like from the ground up. They're just facilitating your understanding. So that is another way that I figured out on how to first improve on this or on this industry. All right. Just learn to encounter these challenges. Go to Stack Overflow, Google online, just try out to write different examples, different code practices, and see until it works. And then from there, now you can maybe take to a more senior developer and ask him, what do you see of this code? How can I improve on it? That is how you become better. So in summary, I told him to adopt a growth mindset when it comes to development, all right? Not to fear challenges, but when he encounters these challenges, to have the will and to have the hope that he'll be able to overcome these challenges and he'll be able to succeed in the long run. And also remember that learning is not a one-time of thing, but it's something that we learn every day. It's a journey. You cannot say that today I'm perfectly a good developer and I've stopped learning. That is the encouragement that I gave him. And I believe that is what many software developers should do or should learn and be able to improve daily. And so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And for that, bye bye.